Ayan, magandang umaga uli mga kababayan. At pag-uusapan naman natin ngayon mga kababayan ko, itong na-search ko po na video, patungkol po ito sa Babelonia na binabanggit ito sa bibliya. Na-search ko po ito sa YouTube sa isang channel ng historian at archaeologist mga kababayan ko na nasaksihan po talaga niya mismo at pumunta po siya doon sa bansang Iraq kasi ang Babylonia ay nasa Iraq. Papanoorin natin itong video na ito mga kababayan ko kung ito pa po ba ay nahango dito sa binabanggit sa Isaiah 13 19 hanggang 21 at saka sa Apokalipsis 18 1 hanggang 4 mga kababayan ko. Pag-aralan din natin ito mga kababayan ko upang ang mga atake sa mga sabadista na ito daw po ay isang iglesia. Yan, isang iglesia daw po ito mga kababayan ko. Ngunit ang sinasabi dito mga kababayan ko, isang lungsod. Lungsod po ito na yung isang imperyo na nagdadala nito mga kababayan ko, yung mga emperador. Una po mga kababayan, bago natin umpisahan ang video, basahin po natin ito mga kababayan ko sa Isaiah 13:19 hanggang 21. Ito po ang sinasabi dito mga kababayan. Sa verse 19 mga kababayan ko, ang Babylonia na pinakamaganda sa mga kaharian, ang kayamanang ipinagmamalaki ng mga taga-Babylonia ay pababagsakin ng Diyos tulad sa Sodoma at Gomora. 20, wala ng taong maninirahan doon kahit kailan. Yan. Tandaan niyo po mga kababayan ko. Wala ng taong maninirahan doon kahit kailan. Wala ng Arabong mga magtatayo ng tulda roon. Wala ng pastol na mag-alaga sa tupa doon. Mga hayop na mailap ang maninirahan doon. Titirahan ng mga ostrich ang kanyang mga bahay. Yan mga kababayan ko ang dito sa Isaiah. Sa Apokalipsis naman ito mga kababayan ko, konteksto lang po yan. Ito mga kababayan ko, doon sa Isaiah, pababagsakin. Ngunit dito sa Apokalipsis, bumagsak na po talaga mga kababayan ko. Babasahin natin mga kababayan ko. 18:1 hanggang 4 mga kababayan ko. Pagkatapos nito, nakita kong bumababa mula sa langit ang isang anghel na may malaking kapangyarihan. Nagliwanag ang buong daigdig dahil sa kanyang kaluwalhatian. Ubos lakas siyang sumigaw. Bumagsak na ang makapangyarihang Babylonia. Ngayon ay tatahanan na lamang siya ng mga demonyo. Bilangguan ng masasamang espiritu, ng maruruming ibon at ng mga marurumi at kasuklam-suklam na mga hayop. Sapagkat pinainom niya ng alak ng kanyang kahalayan ang lahat ng bansa. Nakiapid sa kanya ang mga hari sa lupa at ang mga ngalakal sa buong daigdig ay yumaman sa kanyang mahalay na pamumuhay. At ngayon mga kababayan ko, papanoorin natin itong video kung nahango po ba ito sa Biblia. Yung na-search ko sa isang channel ng historian at archaeologist. Huwag natin patagalin. Ito na po mga kababayan.
Get a special visa that allowed me to get into Iraq and go to the site of Babylon. What I want to do in this video is try to show you what I saw. Try to show you what the city of Babylon looks like today. So of the many excavations that have taken place in Babylon, the most important one was by the Germans under the directorship of Robert Koldewey. These excavations took place from 1899 to 1917. And one thing that they really studied in these excavations were the city walls. And so in their excavation report is a plan that shows the outline of the city walls in the today. This palace on top of an artificial hill was built by the former dictator of Iraq, Saddam Hussein. It is now abandoned, but for our purposes, it serves as a landmark that can be seen from different vantage points in this vast city. A few miles to the north is the ancient mound called Babil. Below, we see the mound of ruins of Babil. Sodom's palace can now be seen in the distance far to the south. Turning left, we are now looking southeast. Notice the nearby smokestack. From this vantage point, the ancient wall line of Babylon's eastern city wall can be seen. The southeast corner of fortified Babylon is seen below, where again the city's southern wall line meets the eastern wall line. Saddam's palace is now seen several miles away to the northeast. When following the eastern city wall line for a few miles to the north, the smokestack and mound of Babil eventually come into view. The southern boundary is marked by the end of the uninhabited land. The modern town seen in the background is on the southern side of the city wall, therefore outside of ancient Babylon. As it was at the time of Koldebey's excavations, so it remains true today. There is no town or village inside the ancient city walls of Babylon. The city lies desolate and uninhabited. So one thing that the walls mark out this huge area that is uninhabited by people, but it is actually the ideal habitat for wild animals. It was like visiting an archaeological site and a wildlife sanctuary all wrapped together as one. Now this contrast between inhabited and uninhabited land can be seen moving along Babylon's ancient wall lines. Notice that the houses where the people live are seen to the right, outside of the ancient city, and to the left, and therefore inside the ancient city, is uninhabited by people, but an ideal place for wild animals to live. We see Nebuchadnezzar's palace. What remains of the Ishtar Gate. Several temples to the gods and goddesses of Babylon. And far to the south, we have the sanctuary of Marduk. This is all that remains to be seen of the most important sanctuary that once dominated the city. The sanctuary of Marduk, whom the Babylonians believed to be the king of the gods, this sanctuary included two temples, a towering ziggurat and a lower temple which housed a huge golden statue of Marduk seated on a throne. Currently, there is hardly anything left of what once was the pride and glory of Babylon. It truly remains to this very day a desolation. So now that we've seen at least an overview of what Babylon looks like today, we can turn our attention to the prophecies that were spoken against it in Isaiah 13 and Jeremiah 50 and determine whether or not those came true in history. So Isaiah 13:19 through 22 says, Babylon, the jewel of kingdoms, the pride and glory of the Babylonians, will be overthrown by God like Sodom and Gomorrah. She will never be inhabited or lived in through all generations. But desert creatures will lie there, jackals will fill her houses, there the owls will dwell. Hyenas will inhabit her strongholds, jackals her luxurious palaces. And Jeremiah 50:39 says, So desert creatures and hyenas will live there, and there the owl will dwell. It will never again be inhabited or lived in from generation to generation. We're here at the Temple of Marduk in Babylon, and one thing that I wanted to show you is, as we go here, you can see these are all wild animal tracks that are just zigzagging all across this ancient site. And this huge area, because it's abandoned, of course, it's just wild animals are living all over the place here. And you can just see where their tracks are just going all over the place here. And we saw some of them last night. This place is infested with wild animals. I'm following wild animal tracks. This beautiful glazed pottery laying all over this area. This is where they uncovered a portion of the Temple of Marduk. Now, the reason you can't see any structures or anything is it's been abandoned for so long that the rain has washed all the sediment down from the top and from the sides and covered up everything that they had exposed during their excavations.
Ayan mga kababayan, na pakinggan natin at napanood natin mga kababayan na klarong-klaro na ang Babelonia po pala mga kababayan ay isang kaharian o lungsod, syudad na nasa timog ng bahagi ng Iraq. Taliwas ito sa mga pahayag ng mga Sabadista, mga kababayan ko, mga pastor nila na ang Babelonia daw po mga kababayan ay isang iglesia. Napakasinungaling talaga ng mga yan mga kababayan. Hindi po iglesia, kundi isang lungsod na naghahari sa buong sanlibutan sa panahong iyon mga kababayan ko. At tugma-tugma po ito mga kababayan ko sa dito sa Biblia, sa Isayas at saka sa Apokalipsis na ito hindi na po natirahan. Wala na pong nakatira mga kababayan ko. Yon, sa gilid lang ng andun si Saddam Hussein na nagtayo ng artificial na bundok, o doon siya naninirahan. Ngunit hindi. Wala po siya doon sa pinaka gitna talaga ng dating syudad na Babelonia. Yan, sana po naintindihan po natin at iyon din namang nasaksihan dahil may saksi din naman tayo na isang archaeologist at historian na nakapunta po doon mismo. Ayan. At sinabi pa nga niya, kasi pinutol-putol ko na lang to itong masyadong mahaba. Mga 1960s o 70s daw po pala mga kababayan ko. Kaya alam niya ang lugar na iyan dahil ang professor po niya mga kababayan ay siya pong unang nakapunta din bago itong historia na ito. At meron namang pangalan sa kanyang channel dyan mga kababayan ko, panoorin nyo na lang po ng buo. Hanggang dito na lang. Maraming salamat sa inyong panonood. Bye-bye.